I recently got to watch Harry Potter and the Cursed Child on stage, and if you guys don't know, it is the story that takes place 19 years after the last story. To be honest, I personally hated this book. I think it's one of the worst books written, but on stage it was phenomenal, and I'll get to that later. But the reason why I'm making this video is because as a Harry Potter fan, I wasn't really sure what I would think about the play because I hated the book so much, but also as a Harry Potter fan, I feel like people do need to kind of go into the play with some tips. I think it'll be helpful to share my experience in case anybody else wants to see this play and they just want to be prepared. So in short, this video is basically a things I wish I knew before watching Harry Potter and the Cursed Child plus a mini review. Just as a recap, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child takes place 19 years after the last book, and if you don't know, Harry Potter actually has 3 kids with his wife Ginny Weasley. Before I dive into my tips before watching Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, I just want to explain why I liked the play so much even though I hated the book. So for me, I'm a very visual oriented person and I really appreciate good choreography, production value. I love that stuff. So I know that even though this story is awful, like the skeleton is so bad, but the way they embellished it on stage, it doesn't make the story any better. But visually, it was so pleasing. Aesthetically, it was so magical. Just the effects, the choreography, the music choice, just everything about it was such a feast for the eyes and for the senses. And it was just so incredible. And I thought, as someone who enjoys behind the scenes stuff and making of things, I really appreciated the production value of it. Again, it doesn't make this story any better. I feel like this story is it's so bad. Seeing it on stage and seeing the choreography, seeing all the actors work together, I feel like it really kind of hid almost how bad this story is. In the end, you can tell that the storyline is pretty awful, but still, I just thought it was so magical. But don't expect there to be a good storyline because the storyline is exactly the same. If you're really focused on the storyline, maybe you won't like it. You know, maybe you're different from me and you don't really care about behind the scenes and I don't know, like production value. You don't care about the stuff, and for you, the storyline is the most important thing. Then yeah, you might not like it, but for me, I don't know, just visually I thought it was incredible and spectacular. Alright, so now let's get to the actual things I wish I knew before watching Harry Potter and the Cursed Child portion of this video. So first off, it is different from the London production, and for those of you who don't know, the London production is actually the total runtime is 5 hours and 15 minutes, and it is actually split into 2 parts. The first part is 2 hours 40 minutes. The second part is 2 hours and 35 minutes, and both of them have a 20-minute interval. And the weird thing is, you can either buy the 2 parts separately and watch them on different days, or you can pretty much spend the entire day at the theater and watch them all in one sitting. I watched Harry Potter and the Cursed Child in Hollywood at the Pantages Theatre. By the way, it's only going on until the 22nd of June, so only a few days left, but it's still going to be touring around other places in America, so this video is still going to be useful. When I watched it in Hollywood, the total runtime was 2 hours and 50 minutes, and I think there was a 10 or 15-minute intermission. Here is the first thing to be aware of before you go into watching Harry Potter and the Cursed Child on stage. If you're going to be watching the condensed version in America, like I did, be prepared for the actors to talk incredibly fast. I've been to so many different Broadway musicals and plays, and I have never heard actors talk so fast in my life. And I think it's because they basically cut the entire play in half in order to make it the 2 hour and 50-minute show that it is. So because of that, all the actors talk so fast to the point that my friends and I all thought, oh my gosh, I really wish that there were subtitles on the stage because it was kind of hard to follow, which perfectly segues into the second point, which is it really helps to actually read this book before going to watch the play. Now, the reason why I say that is because, again, the actors talk so fast and pretty much half of the original play was cut out in order to fit into this condensed version that you miss a lot of the buildup. You have to be really fast about allocating this character in your mind to the character that you see on stage. If you read this book, you don't have to do so much of the mental work of trying to guess who's who, which person relates to another person in the story. You don't have to do as much of the guesswork. So highly recommend reading this book before going in to watch the play. It is going to be a terrible read. It is seriously one of the worst stories. It is hands down the worst Harry Potter book, but it is going to help to read this book just for the sake of familiarizing yourself with the characters. If you don't have this book, maybe just listen to it on audiobook. Libby is a free public library platform. That's where I listen to all my audiobooks. You can listen to it there, or maybe just watch another YouTube video talking about the gist of this book. For those of you who don't care about spoilers, I'll just say, in this book, Harry Potter has 3 kids with Ginny Weasley, In the condensed version of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, only one of them, the middle child, basically has any story to share. And there is one portion in the play where the older son actually has a small piece. But because he's barely mentioned in the rest of the play, it was like, wait, who is this kid? Like, what does he have to do with anything? So it was better to not have even added him in the story at all. For all we know, it would have been totally fine if the condensed version made it seem like Harry Potter only had one kid. Third little thing that I think would have been helpful is, well, the reason why I'm wearing this shirt is because they talk about Cedric Diggory a lot. Hopefully this is not a spoiler, but the more you know about Cedric Diggory and the more you know about the Triwizard Tournament, the easier it is going to be to understand Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I am wearing a Cedric Diggory jersey. If anyone wants this shirt, I'll link it below in the description box. I believe it's available on Amazon and it's from Cine Replicas. And you can get a customized version at the Harry Potter New York store, or you can get it at harrypottershop.com. But I don't like to personalize anything just for safety and security reasons, so I prefer to have Cedric Diggory's name on my back instead. For anyone wondering, they do have a Draco Malfoy version for the Slytherin, Cho Chang for Ravenclaw, and of course Harry Potter for the Gryffindor. So I'll link all those in the description box. The reason why I'm wearing this jersey is because Cedric Diggory's life does have a huge role in this play. Even if you consider yourself a Harry Potter fan, it will be a lot easier if you kind of just review the fourth book, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, just so you kind of remember what the tasks were, what the characters in the book were, how they relate to certain situations. It's just going to be a lot easier if you understand the book, which I guess means that if you are not a die-hard Harry Potter fan, this entire play may be completely lost on you. Maybe there's no point in watching the play because it really relies heavily on the fact that you know the characters, you know their personalities, you know their story, and you know how they all tie to one another and their personal struggles and the development over the 7 books. It really expects you to be familiar with all the characters. So if you're not a Harry Potter fan, or if you're going with a group that is not too familiar with Harry Potter or any of the Harry Potter stories, they're probably gonna be super lost. So definitely made for Harry Potter fans. If you're not a Harry Potter fan, maybe you'll still enjoy it just for the visual aspects because some of the stage effects are seriously so incredible. But you would definitely enjoy it more if you were a Harry Potter fan. So just putting that out there. And here's a little bonus tip. There are actually some photo ops peppered around the Pantages Theatre, which is a theater that I went to. Of course, there's your standard merch. You can get wands, you can get scarves, I believe, you can get cloaks, and you can even get butterbeer flavored candies and different themed snacks. But if you just want photo ops, there is actually a photo op before you enter the stage area on stage right, where basically when you face the stage, it's going to be on your left-hand side. That side actually has a Ministry of Magic photo booth. And so we got some fun photos there. The other side just has that photo wall with the Harry Potter and Cursed Child logo and stuff. It's not the most attractive photo op, but it's something. But definitely go towards stage right, aka when you face the stage, go to the left-hand side, and you will see that photo op with the phone booth. I kind of do wish that they had more photo ops throughout the theater, but I know that it's not like the main event, so can't complain about that. But if someone had not pointed out that photo op to me while I was at the theater, that I never would have known. So that's why I'm putting it in this video, so other people who are planning to see it at the Pantages, or I guess any other theater, can know that there is that Ministry of Magic phone booth photo op available to them. I still think it was an incredible play. Highly recommend dressing up just because it just adds to the whole magic and adds to the fun of the night. And now that I'm losing light, I'm going to wrap up this video. But if you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you have any questions about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, or if I missed anything, make sure to leave a comment so I can get to it. Oh, if you watched the 2-part version, basically the 5-hour version, let me know if you think it makes sense that they condense it down to 2 hours and 50 minutes, basically half of the entire play. I have not seen the original 5-hour version, but as someone who saw the condensed version, I don't think we really missed anything in this book, but I could be wrong. So let me know your thoughts. All right, until next time.